Bill Hupp and Ryan Iverson coming to you tonight from the brand new turf field here at Jim Totino Field at Totino-Grace High School in Fridley. And a tall task for the 0-3 Totino-Grace Eagles tonight as they play host to the second-ranked Wayzata Trojans, undefeated, coming in with a record of 3-0. And Ryan, it should be an interesting test for these young Eagles defense to face the powerful rushing attack of Wayzata tonight.
Well, you nailed it, Bill, and Wayzata's rolling. They're coming off of a huge win last week against a ranked opponent in St. Michael, Albertville, getting their running game going. The thing they do is they have great balance, too. They will pound the rock. They got a big line up front, but they run play action so well, too. So they'll hit you, they'll lull you to sleep with the running game, and then they'll hit you over the top. They got great receivers, too.
Absolutely. 7 throwing touchdowns on the season, so it's not just stopping the two-headed monster of Julian Diedrich and Dante Cockrell Jr., but also stopping them in the air with quarterback Ryan Harvey.
Well, and Ryan Harvey has been so accurate, great decision-making, and when you run the football successfully, it opens up the passing lane. As a defense, Bill, you got to decide, are you going to stack the box, try to stop that run? And if you do that, you're sacrificing one-on-one matchups on the outside. So it's kind of right now, pick your poison of how you're going to defend Wayzata. And when you got a quarterback playing with a ton of confidence, you said 7 touchdown passes, 29 completions on the year, so over 25% of his, roughly 25% of his passes are going for touchdowns. So he's efficient too. So playing well.
Meanwhile, on the other side, a young Totino-Grace team lost a lot to graduation last year, but they still have Hunter Carlson in the backfield.
He's amazing. He's fun to watch. He hasn't gotten it going yet. You alluded to a young offensive line. We know you got to have the guys up front to open up those holes, but if you can just give him a sliver of daylight, he is so talented, so quick, so fast, strong. He's everything kind of built into one. So they just got to give him a little bit of daylight, let him make plays, but if he can get rolling tonight, it's a game they're going to need him to.
Wayzata hoping to remain undefeated on the season in the Metro Gold. Kickoff coming up next on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
And back here at Totino-Grace High School, Jim Totino Field, the Totino-Grace Eagles teeing it up at the 40-yard line. They will be in the all-navy uniforms with the white and gold trim, piping, and the white lettering and numerals, and the visiting and second-ranked Wayzata Trojans in the familiar gold and blue, gold helmets and pants, white jerseys, blue lettering and numerals as they take the field. And we get set to kick it off here on an absolutely glorious night for football. Bill Hupp alongside Ryan Iverson. And Ryan, this is really what Friday Night Lights is all about.
Well, that opening scene showing the crowd, how great is it again this year, just having people in the stands. You know, there's nothing quite like a Friday night going to watch your team play in front of all your peers. It's the best. So just a great atmosphere, a fun game to be a part of.
No question about it, as we see mostly sunny, 60 degrees at kickoff, taken by the upback, charging upfield, breaking a couple tackles. Good starting field position for the Trojans across the 45 of the 46-yard line.
Yeah, and actually lucky. It looked like the knee was down when he originally fielded it there, but they didn't blow the whistle, and that's a guy right there. Every time he touches the ball, Drew Birkland, you feel like he could take it to the house, and he made great return, great starting field position.
No question about it, as Ryan Harvey and the rest of the Trojans offense take the field. Pistol formation, which we will see the majority of the night from this Wayzata Trojans offense. And immediately, a timeout has to be taken by Totino-Grace. Not sure if they just didn't have enough guys on the field, but that's not a good way to start things, Ryan.
Yeah, it looks like they had all 11 guys out there, but obviously didn't look like Coach Anderson was too happy about the way they were lined up.
Well, it gives us a minute to talk about this game.
Yeah.
Tale of two schools right now in terms of longtime programs. The last time these two teams met was September 19th of 2014. Eagles winning that one 42-14. They would go on to finish the season as the Class 6A runner-up. And they had a good team last year, but they lost a lot to graduation, and youth can play a big part of struggles at the high school football level.
Well, when you think of powers in high school football in Minnesota, these are two of the elite programs, no question. But right now, kind of heading a different direction. But you got to look at it, too, Bill, is if you're playing youth, you're getting guys experience, you're building for the future. So throw records out. You just want to get better every time, every series, every game, every half. You just want to keep getting better and better.
So out of the timeout, again, pistol formation. Julian Alfaro Dietrich, who had 4 rushing touchdowns last week and in a victory at STMA. In the pistol formation behind the quarterback, Ryan Harvey. Harvey fakes it to Dietrich, and he is going to be sacked. Taken down beautifully and sacked back in the backfield. Great sack, rushing the quarterback.
Yeah, you can see
busting up the gut.
Will Russell there. No one got a body on him, able to get there and lay the wood down. And that's what you got to do, because this Wayzata team has such good athletes on the perimeter. If Ryan Harvey has the time to set his feet, he's got a really strong, accurate arm. You can see over 70% completion there. You got to find ways to get pressure to him. Great start defensively.
Officially a loss of 4 on the play. Little bubble screen. Breaks into the open, and a big gainer for Wayzata. Still going, finally tackled inside the 40-yard line, but a huge pickup of just about 20 yards down to the 38-yard line, and they pick up first down yardage. Beautiful play here on this bubble screen.
Yeah, quick throw, easy throw for your quarterback after taking a hit, and you just get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And Drew Berkland's been a 3-year starter defensively, and this year going to wide receiver, and you can see how electric he is when he touches the football.
Ball's on the 38-yard line. They'll give to Dietrich. He breaks a couple tackles, gets to the boundary, and he's finally roped out of bounds and driven out inside the 30-yard line. Mark him out at the 27-yard line, so a pickup of 11 on first down.
And you're seeing the balance that we talked about in the pregame, Bill. They can run the football, they can throw the football, and that young man, Alfaro Dietrich, is just playing with a ton of confidence. You said 4 touchdowns last week against a really good defense.
Again, the bubble screen to Berkland. Berkland into the open field, inside the red zone, down near first down yardage, just shy of the 17-yard line.
And you can tell Wayzata's, the way that they're lined up against their wide receivers, they're taking what the defense is giving them. And right now that's just a quick bubble screen where you get a blocker out in front of you. Who wouldn't take 9 yards on first down?
You see Lambert Brown in his 5th season as the head man of the Wayzata Trojans, a state champion a couple years ago.
And just an awesome coach, great energy too.
First penalty of the game as the flag comes in. It will be dead ball, false start on Wayzata, so first penalty on either team. Marches it back to the 23-yard line. The receivers split right and left. Again, pistol formation with Dietrich in the backfield behind that massive and talented offensive line for the Trojans.
You see how wide the wide receivers are too, and they do that for a couple reasons. One, it spreads the defense out. If they are going to run the football, you're taking a couple of defensive backs out of the picture, but 2, it gives them space to run their routes. They use the whole field when they throw deep.
Play fake. They'll throw a high pass, and that's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Eli Lenort.
You can see how wide Eli Lenort was to your right. He was almost out of bounds, and what that did is gave him that whole field to work with on that slant. That ball just a little bit high, but that's one that Lenort a lot of times is going to come down with.
He did have inside position, but just could not bring it in. So that brings up third down from the 23-yard line. Again, the bubble screen to Berkland. Busting through a couple tackles, first down yardage, still dragging defenders, still going down to the 5-yard line. Finally dragged out of bounds But another big gain, this time on 3rd down, and Wayzata's in business.
Well, the thing is, Bill, that he's not getting contact till he was at the 1st down marker. That's a good 6-7 yards downfield before he has any contact. And so what they're doing, they're going twins, 2 wide receivers wide. And you can see no contact till he was already at the 1st down. And when you can get Drew Berkland a chance to get his head of steam going with his speed and playmaking, he's a load to bring down.
Gets it at the 4-yard line, and into the end zone for the touchdown. Julian Alfaro Diedrich had 4 of them last week. He's got his first one tonight on the first drive of the game, and Wayzata takes the early lead.
Well, and the thing that's great about him, he's not, very big, 5'9", 180, but you can see his legs. Look how strong he is. He is a load for his size, and you can see him finish that runoff. Good contact, good tackle. He just pushed that pile forward, able to cross the plane, and a really nice opening drive on the road for the Trojans.
Andy Rudney, 8 of 9 on extra points this season. Make that 9 of 10 as he tacks on the extra point to make it 7-0. And here's the touchdown run.
Yeah, not an easy run. Nice cutback, but you can see contact there at about the 1-yard line. And look at him just fight through it. And that's one thing all good running backs do. You see how I think the fans like it. They're going nuts. But all good running backs keep those legs driving when they yards after contact, they call it. And he's, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and he certainly can fight.
So a pretty quick drive, officially 2 minutes and 26 seconds, and they march down and go 54 yards to punch it in.
Well, one of the adjustments you're going to want to watch, Bill, is they threw that quick screen with Drew Berkland, I think 3 or 4 times. Does Totino, adjust how their defensive backs are aligned against that, trying to take that away?
Hunter Carlson and Sam Johnson back deep to receive this kick. Standing at their own 8-yard line. But yeah, on that drive too, Berkland 3 catches, 48 yards.
Yep.
And
don't forget he had the kickoff return too that set him up in really good field position as well.
Ryan Harvey starting 3 for 4 for 48 yards. Short kick, Carlson will come up and take it at the 12. Up the right hash, and he is tackled finally at the 25-yard line, and that's where the Eagles will start 1st and 10 and expect a steady dose of Hunter Carlson early.
Yep. And they got to get him going. He's so talented. Not a ton of yards so far, on the year, but he's one of those guys with his speed and his playmaking. If he can just get out into space, get to that second level, and that's going to be something to watch. Can that young offensive line, can they move some bodies and give their running back a chance?
Michael Loger, the senior quarterback, he splits time with Nick Ruhonen, but Loger will get the first snaps, and he gives it to Carlson up the gut. Carlson dragging defenders to the second level. Finally tackled at the 40, but not before a pickup of 15 on 1st down.
And you can see how explosive he is. He doesn't need a lot of daylight to get through, and that was well blocked up front. I like they're going quick tempo here, trying to get a good rhythm.
As you see here, just right up the gut, and they only had a jersey dragging the defender, Drew Streeter, who has 20 tackles coming in. So from the 40-yard line now with 9:08 to go first quarter. Carlson, tougher yards this time. Gets about 2.5 out near the 43-yard line. And certainly Wayzata well aware of who the threat is on this offense.
Yeah, and you can tell they're going to load up that box and really try to limit Carlson. And that's where you got to be able to counterbalance that run game and hit enough in the passing game to keep some of those guys out of the box. So you got to establish some type of balance here for the Eagle offense.
You do have receivers split right and left. 2nd down and 7. Got to reach midfield. Loger pitches it outside to Carlson. Carlson again fighting through tackles across the 45 out to the 47-yard line.
Well, I love that. Just a quick option going to the left, trying to get Carlson out in space. And I'll tell you what, Loger, that's a heck of a pitch. It's not easy when you're right-handed, going to your left, knowing you're about to take a hit and still getting the pitch off.
Jay Anderson, 2nd season, trying to turn this ship around to Totino-Grace. They've played a tough schedule, to be fair to them. Played a good Centennial team last week. Still have to play Maple Grove, but certainly a beautiful field for them to work with. Loger rolls out. He's being pressured. He's hit as he throws. He somehow gets rid of it. Just shy of the first down marker. They'll spot the catch down at the 49-yard line. And on the catch made by Ben Shirakman down at the 49, so it leaves them with 4th and 1. And see if Jay Anderson wants to give it to Carlson or decide to kick it away.
What a play by Loger there. Standing in the pocket, taking a hit, somehow finding his receiver and getting positive yards, setting up a 4th and short, and it looks like they're going to keep their offense on the field here. I like the call.
Indeed, pickup of 8 yards down to the Eagles' 49-yard line as they're just trying to get it into Wayzata territory on their first possession. Could be a little pooch punt too, you never know. And now we've got a whistle and a flag.
Looked like everyone but the ball moved there.
Yep, Carlson, you can sense his frustration that the call didn't come in, and that obviously changes the call now. That false start marches it back to the 44.
And you almost just wondered if they weren't going to punt that anyways.
It looked like he was in that kind of
back up a little bit deeper there and maybe try to get a surprise punt off.
Of course, they have little to lose. They've got the new quarterback in there, Nick Ruhonen, the junior. He's in there, and he is indeed going to punt it away. Nobody back for Wayzata. It takes an Eagles bounce, and inside the 20, touched up finally at the 18-yard line. And that's where the Trojans will take over 1st and 10 with their second possession. 6:34 to go first quarter.
Yeah, and I like that strategy of kind of the surprise punt a little bit because you take away any chance of Wayzata returning that because they had their full defense out there and got a great roll. And you got to play field position too when you're playing Wayzata.
And we'll see. Wayzata took to the air a lot. Just 2 rushes in that first offensive series. We'll see if they go back to the ground. 2 receivers split wide to the right.
Let's see if they go to that quick throw again.
Birkeland indeed will give it to Alfaro Dietrich. He bounces it outside, stiff arms a defender, and he's shoved out of bounds across the 20-yard line, out at the 21. So just a pickup of 3 on first down.
Well, nice job by Peter Schar there, number 23, the defensive back, coming up. And Alfaro Dietrich is so hard to tackle. You got to stay low. He makes people miss really well. That was a nice tackle.
Spotted at the 22-yard line. Send a man in motion. Again, give it to Alfaro Dietrich. Big hole up the middle. Makes a couple men miss. Good stiff arm across the 30 out to the 33. Gain of 11 on second down.
Well, you said it, Bill. Big hole up the middle. That was extremely well blocked. And again, when you can get your running back to that second level without being touched, right there, I mean, your offensive line did its job.
No question about it. Now 1st and 10 at the 33. Wayzata looking to put their mark early. First halves are an issue for Totino-Grace. They've been outscored 69-10 in first halves in their first 3 games. Rolling out, being chased on the run, throws, and then throws it into his own bench. And good escapability by Harvey right there.
Well, 2 things. Every time they've tried to go deep, Totino-Grace has done a nice job of getting pressure on the quarterback, and that time Ryan Harvey too. Sometimes your best plays are knowing when to just throw the ball away instead of taking a sack, instead of trying to force it into someone and maybe having an interception. You just throw it away. You live to fight another down. Heads up play.
Stops the clock with 5:47 to go first quarter. High snap, pulled down, give to Alfaro Dietrich, breaks a tackle. He's into the second level, across midfield, and down to the 42-yard line. 25 yards on that burst.
Well, and again, looked very similar to some of the other plays we've seen. Watch the hole up front. Great kick-out block right there and makes a guy miss, and then he's off to that second level.
Finally dragged down by Sam Johnson. Play fake, actually give it to Dante Cockrell Jr., and he's got some positive yards and first down near the 30-yard line. So they're just picking up yardage in chunks right now.
And to have two backs like that number one are both really talented, but two different, right? Cockrell Jr. is a little bit bigger at 235 pounds. He can wear a defense down, and he also gives a nice break to Alfaro Diedrich. So you always have fresh running backs in the backfield.
It's a powerful thunder and lightning combination, isn't it?
You know, and the other thing, too, is it just wears the defense down when you're on the field over and over and getting run on, especially by a big physical offensive line.
Play fake. Slant to Birkeland. He throws down a defender, tosses him like he's not even there, down to the 17-yard line, a pickup of 13, and another Trojans first down.
He's just such a competitor, and you can see he almost just plays angry. Watch him just get rid of the defender here. Like, nope, not today. Takes 4 or 5 Totino-Grace defenders to bring him down. But that play's all set up, Bill, because they've been running the ball effectively. Play action opens up that passing lane.
Give this time to Cockrell Jr. running through tacklers down to the 15, just a pickup of 2. So he's got a couple carries for 14 yards. 2nd and 8 from the 15, and this is pretty methodical from the Wayzata offense right now.
Well, and there you can see they're switching running backs. So now you got Alfaro Diedrich, who's been their workhorse, but you give him a couple plays off, so now he's fresh. You're in the red zone, and he'll be running full of energy too.
Roll out to the right. Harvey throws.
Nice hit.
And tackled at about the 15-yard line.
Nice job by Nick Pittman that time, the linebacker coming up. And if you get a quarterback on the run, Bill, you got to let him feel your presence, and that was a big-time hit.
So Harvey, unofficially no gain, won't go down as officially a sack, but brings up 3rd and 8. Really important 3rd down here for Totino-Grace. Wayzata has a field goal kicker that can make them. They'll split 2 receivers to the near side. Alfaro Diedrich will be the lone setback. Wouldn't be surprised to see them target Birkeland here.
And they've had success too running the football when you think they're going to pass it.
Harvey throws a little bubble screen to Birkeland. He puts on the brakes, tries to get away from a couple defenders.
Play.
Good gang tackling eventually. Michael Sauer held up the play from a safety spot. And ultimately, Totino-Grace rallies to the football to limit the damage to a single yard.
Well, and that's the old pursuit drill, right? If you can't make the tackle, and you can see nice job right here by Sauer coming up. He can't make the tackle, but he slows him down enough, and you see a bunch of Eagles flying down the line of scrimmage making that tackle. Great stand that time by the Eagle defense. Gave up some yards, but they didn't break. They keep him out of the end zone.
So Vredny comes on to attempt a 32-yard field goal from the left hash. Andy Vredny 1 for 4 on field goals this year. Snap is down, and he's going to be 1 for 5 after missing that wide right. So the defense for Totino-Grace holds, and that's all they could ask for. They bent but didn't break.
Yep. In football, you know, every sport, but really football, it's so much about adjustments. And you saw at that time, I thought Totino-Grace did a nice job of adjusting. They took away that quick throw to Drew Birkeland, and they put him in some long down and distances, 3rd and long, and they were able to hold. Great group tackling as well, and a big stop. Now you got to carry on to that. You got to add to that momentum. Your offense has to, number one, they don't have to score points here, Bill, but you got to sustain a drive, get your defense some rest as well.
Flip the field a little bit at least. So 2:35 left first quarter. Ball's at the 20-yard line. Ruhonen remains in there at quarterback with Carlson to his right. Turns and gives it to Hunter Carlson, and the Trojans defense was waiting, swarming him and forcing him back for a loss of 1.
I just think with the physicality of the front 7 for Wayzata, the more you can get Carlson out in space, running the sweeps, running that, you know, that quick option to the outside. If you can get him in space, that's when he gets so dangerous.
And a nice gainer for 15 on his first carry, but he's since been held to 5 yards on 3 carries. So 2nd and 11 from the 19-yard line. First pass of the game is bounced in there, incomplete.
And intended for Brennan Blake, and that one just a little bit short. And that's where, Rohonen just got to settle his feet, right? Anytime you see quarterbacks rush, he had the time. You see kind of short-armed that one there. But I like the call. I like trying to hit a quick pass play. Try to get your quarterbacks into a rhythm, and maybe you can soften that interior defense up too by hitting one of those passes.
Technically, that was Rohonen's first passing attempt of the game. He takes the snap and pitches it. Great catch by Carlson to adjust. He gets upfield, makes something out of nothing across the 25 up to the 26. Pickup of 7 on third down, but it's going to leave them 4th and 4.
And kind of going back to my point, you see what he can do in space too, right? I mean, that was, most running backs drop that football, that might be on the ground. I mean, watch him catch this pitch. A little bit behind him there.
Great adjustment.
Yeah, one-handed with his left hand.
And he still manages to lower his head and get upfield.
Got 6, 7 yards on that.
Ultimately, it is going to be punted away by Arya Chandrasekhar, a big defensive lineman, tight end, and also punter. So he'll punt it away, standing back at his own 12-yard line. It's a low line drive kick. It's fielded by Dietrich at his own 48. Going right, making a couple men miss, puts on the brakes, and he's slung down at the Totino-Grace 34-yard line. So really good field position again, this time in Totino-Grace territory for Wayzata.
Well, two things. By not getting the first down, number one, you have a short field now for the Trojan offense, Bill, and two, your defense got no rest. They got less than a minute and a half on the sideline. And so to ask your defense to be on the field over and over again against that physical offensive line, most times it's a matter of time before you start wearing down.
Yeah, they're just trying to sustain drives at this point.
Yep.
And that the inability, and that when you throw and you're incomplete and things like that, you just chew up no clock. Cockrell Jr., the lone setback. He'll take on first down, tripped up, but lowers the shoulder and gets first down yardage. Inside the 25, down to the 22, a pickup of 11.
Yeah, not a fun job to be a defensive back with number 2 coming at you full speed. Watch how he finishes his run. You see him lower his shoulder.
Great balance, too.
And that's what you teach your running backs. Don't wait for contact, deliver the contact. And he finished that one with a boom.
He remains in at running back. 2 receivers split to the near side from the 22. Take and give to Cockrell again. Lost his footing this time, just to gain a 1. He's got 4 carries for 26 yards. Wayzata very efficient. They've picked up 4 first downs running and 3 through the air.
Yeah, and again, talking about balance, they've just had great balance so far in this first quarter. Efficient throwing the football, efficient running the football, and dominated time of possession as well.
They're just outside the red zone and leading 7-0 after the first quarter of play. So we'll flip ends of the field and be back with the continuation of the drive in a moment here on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Back here at Jim Totino Field, the beautiful new turf field that was only laid weeks ago. Totino-Grace, after a couple weeks on the road, hosting the Wayzata Trojans, 2019 state champions and ranked number 2 in the state right now behind Lakeville South. But Wayzata, certainly a wide open field if you look at Eden Prairie, Lakeville South, Wayzata, Maple Grove. A lot of teams that could make a case for being the best team in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, this northwest suburban area that we get to cover here on CCX, just a ton of talent. And 2 of maybe the 3 or 4 best teams in the state, Wayzata and Maple Grove, who we'll see here on CCX in a couple of weeks. That's going to be a fun one.
Game.
Yep.
high snap that Harvey had to do to pull down. I think it threw off the timing of that handoff to Diedrich, and so Harvey just stumbles forward, picks up a yard, so makes the best of it, brings up 3rd and 8.
Well, I'll tell you, the Eagles on a couple of these drives have done a nice job forcing 3rd and long, and that's what you have to do to this Wayzata offense. If they can get down to 3rd and 1, you just don't have much of a chance.
Give to Diedrich. He goes outside, switches hands, stiff arms, and he will be dragged down short of the line to gain. Sam Johnson coming over from his linebacker spot, making the stop.
Yeah, and Sam only a junior too, but a great tackler. And I thought Alfaro Diedrich did a nice job of recognizing there was nothing in the middle, made that decision to get to the outside, picked up a lot of yards, but great tackle. Here's a big 4th down, Bill.
Down to the 14-yard line, 4th and 1. Now look to the sideline. Make that 4th and 2. Got to reach the 12. Play fake. Screen. Touchdown. A slant to Drew Birkland for the score from 14 yards out. Wayzata leads at 13-0.
Well, it's just a great example of getting your team in the right play. And you could see Totino-Grace brought everyone up on the line of scrimmage. And Drew Birkland had a one-on-one situation with the whole field to work with. And he's got that great acceleration. He gets that step on you, and that was just an accurate pass. And that's how you finish up a drive.
Indeed it is, and the extra point tacked on. So Wayzata now leads it 14-0 over the Eagles early here, 2nd quarter. As you see the touchdown pass on 4th down, play fake, and a touchdown, and Drew Birkland has caught all 5 of the passes today.
Well, and what makes that tough is you got the play action on 4th and short, so your linebackers all come up to the line of scrimmage, and that leaves this big gap in the middle of the field. And that's a lot to ask your defensive back to stop that guy right there. You know, and Ryan Harvey this year, you know, as a junior played, had some growing pains last year, but got that experience. And this year, he is just completely in command of this offense. Knows exactly where to go with the football. And the thing that may be most impressive is that completion percentage. He is very accurate with the football.
That's the thing, is they don't throw it a ton, but when they do, and their solid rushing attack sets up play action so well, and you've got an athlete like Birkland who's going to play baseball at the U out there catching passes. It's a tough combination to stop, and you can see why they are so good offensively, is that kick out of bounds will bring the ball out to the 35-yard line.
And this is kind of a really critical point in the game, I think, Bill. You're down 14-0. You know, you've struggled this year, lost 42-0 or excuse me, 56-18 to Maple Grove, lost last week 41-7. You feel things kind of slipping away here. This is where your offense has got to come out and sustain a drive.
Yeah, the Totino-Grace schedule doesn't get any easier. They got to go to Blaine next week. They host Minnetonka here in game number 6 of the season, and then they visit Champlain Park and then host White Bear Lake. Wayzata's got some fun ones coming up, hosting Centennial next week, and then in 2 weeks at Maple Grove, which again we'll have for you here on CCX.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's just so many good teams out here that you really don't get an easy week anymore.
Of course, this is a Metro Gold North District game. On 1st down, big gainer.
Nice.
Logger into the 2nd level. Across midfield, and he's tackled at the 40-yard line, so a pickup of 25 on 1st down.
Yeah, nice job just making a quick decision. He could kind of tell the pursuit was coming, just kept it cut back to the right, and Loger doing a nice job right there, deciding to keep it in that cutback, and a big-time play. That's their biggest play of the night so far. Nice job by the quarterback.
First time they're into Wayzata territory tonight. Loger this time gives it to Carlson. Not much there. Carlson stopped up maybe a half-yard gain, but call it no gain officially. 6 carries for 27 yards now for Hunter Carlson. And it must be difficult, Ryan, when you know you're going to be keyed on every week.
Well, that's where you got to just figure different ways to get him the ball. Screens, quick throws. We've seen for Birkland, with Wayzata, different ways to get your playmakers the ball. When you got a guy as talented as that young man right there, split them out wide, run some quick motions, just figure different ways that you can attack a defense with that guy, because he has that unique ability to make a home run.
Play fake, Loger gets the pass away, completes it across the 35 down to the 33. Catch made by Adam Molitor, the sophomore tight end. So a pickup of 6 on that play.
Yeah, tough throw too. Nice job by Loger, rolling to your left, throwing kind of across your body. But that young man, Adam Molitor, 6'6", 180 pounds, only a sophomore. It's going to be a nice target.
Carlson this time gets first down yardage and more inside the 25, roped out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Tackle made by Andrew Westermeyer from his safety position, as we see Carlson just taking it and bouncing it outside.
Yep, and again, identifying all those bodies in the middle. I'm going to get to that outside, and he's got the great speed to do that. Nice rhythm on this drive so far for Totino-Grace. Mixing in a couple passes as well, and quarterback run, so a little bit more balance here, and you can see it's opened things up for Hunter Carlson as well.
Pick up a 14, give to Carlson again down the middle, and he busts through the tackle of Westermeyer inside the red zone down to the 18-yard line, so call it a pickup of 4. Carlson up to 8 carries for 45 yards here in this first quarter.
Yeah, 5'10", 190 pounds. He's got great speed, but also has good power, and you see how he finished that run off as well.
Getting looked at by a bunch of Division I programs, and so we'll see. He hasn't made any decisions about where he's going to go, but certainly the talent, and last year he had a phenomenal year as well. From the 18, Loger rolls right, throws, good play, got his man out there. He's tackled right at the sticks, right at the 11-yard line. But it is going to be enough for a first down.
And again, running the football sets up play action. You see the defense slows just for a second and coming right out of the backfield. A nice, easy throw in the flat. And again, good balance and a nice mixture of running and passing here. Great drive. Eagles now just have to punch it in. They can't settle for anything less than a touchdown.
Up the middle, down to the 5-yard line, as Loger kept it and picked up 6. So he's got 31 yards on this drive.
And I talk a lot about balance, Bill, and balance doesn't always mean just running and throwing. It means running to the left, running to the right, running middle, quarterback keeping it, halfback getting it. So they are really mixing it up on this drive. And then when you have a ton of weapons like that, it makes it really hard on a defense to stop.
This time Loger is stopped back at the 5-yard line, so no gain on second down after Wayzata showed good discipline, forcing a 3rd and 4.
You see number big 95, Tim Hess, one of the senior captains that time, eating up some blockers, and he was waiting that time for Loger.
Loger is also the field goal kicker. He's 2 for 2 field goals this year, and perfect with extra points as well. So from the 4, give to Carlson up the gut, dragging defenders toward the goal line. No signal yet. They're going to say he's short. So that brings up an interesting decision now for Jay Anderson on 4th down.
Oh, he was close, wasn't he?
Sure was.
You see the offensive lineman getting in. I love when it gets to that scrum where you got everyone pushing. He was darn close, but be 4th down, and I would imagine you got to try to punch it in and get a touchdown here.
Yeah, now the debate is, did he get enough for a first down? It's right at the sticks, depending on the spot. This is where being in the press box doesn't help you. Officials timeout. I think they're going to measure it.
Yep.
6:40 to go, second quarter. Totino-Grace driving, trying to answer a Wayzata touchdown.
Well, it certainly looks like where they marked it, he's got the first down.
And that would obviously, right on the doorstep, would be huge. Five first downs picked up on this drive if this is another.
Yeah, he got the first down.
Yep, and there's the official signal. As we see here, Carlson, big hole, and then that hole closed quickly. Westermeyer, among others, in there for the Wayzata defense. Eventually they blew it dead, but the spot is good, and it's on the half-yard line for Totino-Grace.
Oh, I love the response on this drive by the Eagles. Down 2 scores here. Hadn't moved the football at all in this offense on this drive. Really done a nice job. And you're knocking on the doorstep. This is where you got to punch it in. Can't be anything fancier than, and I think they're going to take a timeout, but can't be anything fancier than Hunter Carlson up the gut, don't you think? Right up the middle. Yep. A little bit of confusion perhaps, but Jay Anderson takes the Eagles' second timeout of the half to talk about things. Don't want to mess around with it, first and goal. And, you know, 10 points in the opening day loss to Mounds View, 18 at Maple Grove, and 7 last week against Centennial. So their offense does have enough weapons to score. It's just been the stopping people part that's been tough. And that's to that point, when you get down 14-0 or 21-0, it changes a little bit what you do on offense too. And then you feel like you got to get some big plays, so you kind of get out of your game plan a little bit. I think this drive, the biggest thing is they got some other guys involved, and what that ultimately does, it frees up Hunter Carlson even more. And Totino-Grace would like to be a ball control offense if they could. They'd like to just run Carlson and Loger occasionally. And the thing is, if you're constantly giving it to Carlson, then when Loger keeps it, that's more effective. And the other thing it does is they've had the ball now for quite a bit of time here. You allowed your defense to rest as well. Loger takes it himself. Touchdown, Eagles. Michael Loger sneaks around right end for his first rushing touchdown of the season. And Totino-Grace gets on the board here at home. Well, great drive, great call. I like the quarterback sneak. You eliminate any defensive penetration. And Loger that time initially got stopped, but then he bounced it out to the right, one more spot over. And that second effort got him into the end zone. So great drive and a great answer by this TG offense. Loger stays on to attempt the extra point and converts. So he scores the touchdown, and then he adds the extra point as well to cut the Wayzata lead in half, 14-7, just about midway through this second quarter. Well, it's such a game of momentum. But watch this initially. He gets stuffed right there, and there he kicks it just one more gap over to the right. And you can see he gets about 5 or 6 yards deep in the end zone. But, Loger kind of started that drive with that big quarterback run. Yeah, had 3 runs on that drive, very effective. And that was a great drive and a great answer, because this game had been all Wayzata here early on. And now you cut it down to 1 score, and remember too that Totino-Grace will get the ball to start the second half. So this is a big possession for Wayzata and for this Totino-Grace defense here. Yeah, Loger 3 rushes for 32 yards on that drive. Of course, the big one, the carry for 25, and so. Yeah, they would love to go into half just down by a score or even closer. But big drive here as Julian Diedrich waits back for it at his own 7-yard line. Bound for St. Thomas next year. New FCS school. Low line drive kick actually caught at the 23-yard line. Returned by Lenort across the 35. And again, good starting field position. The 38-yard line is where the Trojans will go to work. Yeah, let's see if the defense can now build a little bit off of that momentum that your offense just got. You got some rest there. You're feeling hopeful. Hey, our offense, they've struggled this year. That time they looked like a potent offense. Can someone make a big play? Can they get a turnover, a fumble, an interception? Something big here and keep this momentum on their side. Pretty balanced attack for Wayzata. 10 rushes, 8 passes. Make that 11 rushes as Diedrich gets it out to the 40-yard line. Pickup of 3 on first down. I like, too, this young defense. They've been pretty good tacklers. We haven't seen missed tackles, right? And if they're not able to bring them down themselves, they're at least grabbing on and holding on to them and not giving up some huge plays. So pretty nice job of tackling by the Eagle defense.
Berkland, the slot receiver. Snap to Harvey. Again, give to Dietrich. Shedding a couple tackles near the 45-yard line. Call him down at the 44. It's nothing real fancy that Wayzata does on offense, is it?
And that's how they've been. Even the year they won the state championship, you'll see a lot of the same types of plays. But when you got the horses up front and you got talented running backs, I mean, look at that little cut out to the left. Gains an extra 3 or 4 yards, and now you set up third and very manageable. We got the whole playbook open.
Dietrich again, third straight carry, bounces it outside, cuts it back up inside of Eagle territory down to the 49. Gain of 7 on that rush and another first down.
And he's just got that little extra burst of speed. You can see if he's racing against a defensive back, watch him right here. He bounces it outside, knows right where that first down is, and look at that acceleration just to get to the outside.
He's not a big guy. I mean, lower body is strong, but he's not the biggest running back. Converted wide receiver this year, as we told you in our open. Dietrich between the tackles once more down to the 47, so modest gain of 2 on first down. 10 carries, 77 yards in the first half. And now he'll get a break and Cockrell will come out.
And that's the thing. You'll get 2 yards, but you look at his average per attempt, 7.7. So they just wear you down up front. And just when you think they're going to run it on every play, that's when the play action will come out. You can see Berkland right now. Look at the space between the defensive back and him. Let's see if they go back to the pass game here.
Play action pass. Harvey loads up. He wants it all for Lenore. It's caught at the 5-yard line. They're battling for it, and they give it to Lenore down at the 2.
Well, how about that catch, but how about the arm strength too of Ryan Harvey? I thought he held on to that a little too long. I didn't know if he could get that ball over the top. And the difference that time, look at the time he's got able to plant, and that was a great throw. But look at the ability that time too by Lenore to come back and get the ball. And pretty well played defensively too. I don't know how you play that any better.
Spot him down at the 3-yard line. It's a 44-yard pass play. High snap to Harvey. He's going to keep it himself, actually, and score a touchdown for Wayzata. Faked it to Cockrell and ran around the left end for 6.
What a great play call. Everyone here, including myself, thought that ball was going to be handed off up the middle. Defense collapses, and I'll tell you what, Ryan Harvey, you had a great throw on the previous play. Go finish it off for us, quarterback keeper. How about that answer, too, by the Trojans?
Yeah, big time. And what I was going to say as they were marching is they would love to just bleed this clock down and punch it in right before the half, but they didn't even wait that long. Play action pass that you called, and they punched it in. And now they'll try to tack on the extra point. A little disorganized, but they get the snap off, and the kick is good. So 21-7 Wayzata. What a response from the Trojans. And they're showing you exactly why they are a top 5 team in the state. That high snap, but he drew the defense in and just ran away. Was just fast enough to get away from E.J. Mathis from the backside.
Yeah, and again, you see that defense. Everyone collapsed, and I think everyone expected that ball to be handed off. And Ryan Harvey doesn't have great speed, but you don't need it when you're a great ball fake and just a great play call at the right time. And they just have this innate ability, Bill, to kind of know when to throw, when to run, when to play action. They do just enough of everything. So as a defense, you don't know what's coming.
And there's the AP rankings for Class 6A. Wayzata 2 in the metro area in the Star Trib, but 3 in the AP rankings. But nonetheless, still a top 3 team in state. And any of those top 5 really, Shakopee has looked absolutely dynamite. They have some huge offensive line and some explosive athletes of their own on offense. Carlson will take this from his own 5 and bring it out. And he gets across the 20-yard line. 3:30 to go before half, so we'll see what this Michael Loger and this Eagles offense can do.
And they got to just stick with what they did that last drive. You don't got to get it all back. You know, you don't have to force a deep throw. Be who you are. Be what worked that last drive, and that's mixing it up. Quarterback keepers. Remember, too, they hit a couple of short passes. Get your quarterback into a nice rhythm, and by doing that, you're ultimately going to get Hunter Carlson hopefully into space, because he's shown the ability when he's in space to be electric.
Ball is officially at the 21-yard line. Eagles trailing 21-7 here late second quarter. Carlson through a hole, dragging defenders just shy of the 20. Well, they'll spot him down at the 25-yard line. Pick up a 4. Yep, his 10th carry of the half.
Yeah, nice first down run, too. If you can get 4 or 5 yards on first down, that's a win for your offense.
And Carlson's the kind of workhorse back, especially if you're Totino-Grace. You're going to feed him 25 times a game if you can.
Well, he's one of those guys that seems to get better as the game goes on. And when you're built like that, you got to keep feeding him, because he'll wear you down 3 yards, but he has that ability to break it for a big one.
Carlson makes a nice jump cut. He's into the second level and into the open field. Carlson dragged down at the 20-yard line of Wayzata, but a big gainer for the Eagles.
Well, exactly what we were just talking about, right? Keep feeding him, because he's got that kind of ability. Doesn't look like anything much, but he breaks a tackle, and then he's just got that speed.
56 yards on that scamper, and just look at this jump cut through the hole, and then he gets into the second level, 56 yards, and inside the 20 down to the 19. And Totino-Grace, plenty of time left, 2:30 and counting for them to go to work. 1st and 10 from the 19. Again, give up the gut. First time we've called the name of E.J. Mathis on offense. His first carry, and Mathis picks up just a couple. So he had 53 yards on 10 carries. Now he's got 11 carries for 109 yards based on that run. So Hunter Carlson certainly showing up here in a big way.
Well, you give that line some credit too. Like I said, he doesn't need a lot of daylight to get to that second level, and once he does, he's amazing.
Mathis stacked up and driven down at the 15-yard line. So a couple carries for him, 4 yards.
Well, keep in mind too, Carlson's been on the sideline here the last 2 plays. Looked like he was limping a little bit, but he is heading back into the game.
Yeah, he was dragged down from behind. 3rd and 6 coming up. And this is where Totino-Grace would love to have at least one more of those timeouts they've had to burn. They have just 1 timeout remaining, and ticking down inside 1:20 to go first half.
Yeah, and I would think you're in 4-down territory here, so maybe you don't have to get it all. Can you get 3 to 4 or 5 yards, set up a 4th and really short?
Loger rolls to his left, being chased, directing traffic. Loger to the corner of the end zone, and it is no good. Incomplete in the corner of the end zone. The intended receiver had it out there and then dropped it. Intended for R.J. Spencer, the leading receiver on this Totino-Grace team.
What a great job by Loger, sprinting out, knowing he's under pressure. I was about to say that was an amazing throw and an amazing effort too. He almost came down with this.
It was an amazing effort, and he had it, but the ground, and he just bobbled it. I thought the ground may have jarred it loose.
That was very close to being a spectacular play.
They're going to take the points, it looks like, as Loger is setting up to try a 32-yard field goal from the right hash. We'll have coaches' interviews at halftime with my broadcast partner, Ryan Iverson. Loger from 32 yards splits the uprights, and it's good. So Michael Loger scoring touchdowns, tacking on extra points, and kicking field goals. He gets some big congratulations as Totino-Grace cuts the lead to 21-10 with 57 seconds left before half. Score fest of a first half, as Loger, you see, it was a low line drive kick, nearly blocked, but it had plenty of leg and got over the uprights And so Loger now 3 for 3 in field goal attempts this season. And it's good that they capped off that drive with points, because certainly that was well earned. Loger 3 for 4 passing in the first half, but he's also got a rushing touchdown and now a 32-yard field goal as well. Makes it 21-10 Trojans. They'll get the ball and they will have some time, depending on how good this return is. Julian Dietrich standing back at his own 8-yard line. Teed up at the 40-yard line. Low line drive kick, bobbled by Birkeland. He scoops it up at his own 23. And Birkeland swarmed under, shy of the 30-yard line. 50 seconds for Wayzata to go to work. They don't really have a field goal kicker who can make it consistently anyway. Just 1 of 5 on the season. So they have 70 yards to go in 50 seconds. So we'll see if they take a couple shots deep or ultimately just decide to take a knee and go to the locker room with a 2-score lead. Three receivers in the formation. Diedrich, the lone setback behind Ryan Harvey. Pistol formation. Harvey, play fake, back to throw. He's flushed, he escapes pressure. He winds up, airs it out. Diedrich slips out of the backfield. He's caught it at the 45. Flung down at about midfield. So a nice pickup of 20 as they continue to hustle. And you just see Diedrich slipping out of the backfield, and a good job by Harvey to keep his head up. Good escapability, finds Diedrich across the field. He catches it, stumbled. Otherwise, he may still be running, but he's flung down at the 50-yard line, a gain of 20. So the ball's at midfield with 37.8 seconds remaining in the first half. How about the first half for Ryan Harvey? 8 for 10, a $139 through the air, and a touchdown. Very impressive. Ryan Harvey with a rushing touchdown and a throwing touchdown in this first half. So accurate, as we talked about, 8 for 10 through the air. Diedrich's first catch, he's got 97 yards of total offense in terms of receiving and rushing. He's also had some kick returns. Ball's at the 50. Harvey barking out signals. He takes the snap, rolls to his right, steps up in the pocket. He's flushed. Now he'll pull it down and run it himself, and he'll wisely step out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So picks up first down yardage. Move the chains, a 10-yard run for Ryan Harvey. Two carries now for 13 yards for Harvey. Spotted at the 40-yard line, 29.6 seconds left. So they are certainly trying to get more points before heading to the locker room. From the 40, Harvey, play fake. Will throw it back to Diedrich. Caught at the 40, inside the 30, spinning away from tacklers, and he gets out of bounds smartly at the 25, a pickup of 15. So Diedrich, 2 catches for 35 yards on this drive alone. It's a Wayzata first down again, as that picks up 15 yards. What such an impressive first half from Harvey. 9 of 11 through the air, 154 yards and a touchdown. Talk about efficiency. From the 25, 3-step drop. Over the middle, and it's batted away. Great play by Michael Sauer, the free safety. He was looking for Birkeland over the middle, and it's knocked away by Sauer. Makes it 2nd and 10 from the 25. Stops the clock with 15.7 seconds left. As you see the play by Sauer, just a quick 3-step drop, pretty simple. Good ball over the middle. Birkeland was behind Sauer, but he read it well and knocked it away. 3-step drop. Lofty looking for Lenore. He tried to come back for the football. I think he wanted interference called, but no flag comes. So that incompletion stops the clock with 9.4 seconds to go before half. 21-10, Wayzata leads Totino-Grace. Well, you figure they might go for the end zone maybe one more time. 2 straight incompletions after having 2 the entire half for Ryan Harvey. And as Ryan Iverson said, he is just in complete command of this offense. Birkeland in the slot. Harvey, play action. Flushed, and he's going to be sacked. 2nd sack of the half. A big sack by Arya Chandrasekhar. And that will end the half. Chandrasekhar's big sack ends the half and the Wayzata threat. But the Trojans scored twice in the 2nd quarter, and they lead it at the break, 21-10 over the home team, Totino-Grace. Very, very entertaining first half of action. Hunter Carlson, 11 rushes and 109 yards for Totino-Grace. For Wayzata, they have 100 yards plus on the ground as well. Ryan Harvey, 9 of 13 for 154 and a touchdown. So very well played first half. Drew Birkeland, 6 catches for 75 yards. As we wait to talk to Eagles coach Jay Anderson. And so Ryan Iverson is with Eagles head coach Jay Anderson.
Hey, Coach, thanks for joining us. Down 14-0. I thought your offense really came to life the last 2 drives. What did you see?
Yeah, we started to move the ball on the ground a little bit and had some play-action passes, and our quarterback had a couple nice runs. It was nice to see in the first half, yeah. Yeah,
I always talk about balance on offense, not just running and throwing, but mixing it up, who's keeping it. You ran a couple quarterback keepers. What it ended up doing is getting your running back in some space, too. Is that kind of the design?
Absolutely, just so that they can focus on Hunter. Hunter's a great back, and our quarterback running the football does give him some more space, absolutely.
Defensively, what would you like to see?
I want our kids to keep on playing. Yeah. They made some big plays in the first half. Our kids battled. They fought probably harder than they have all year, and I'm proud of them for that.
Lastly, I mean, a year ago we didn't have fans here. How great is it tonight? Beautiful night. Fans are filled on both sides. What a fun atmosphere.
You can't get any better than this. When we walked out, we just said it's a beautiful night for football, and with all these fans and cheering, absolutely. This is the greatest.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Good luck in the second half, Coach. All right, back to you.
So we thank Jay Anderson for taking a moment to talk to us. His Eagles, as he said, played hard in that first half, have some things to work on, but certainly have some positives to take away as well. We are at halftime. Wayzata, the number 2 team in state, up on Totino-Grace, 21-10.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. She's dead? Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my God.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
And back here at Jim Totino Field in Fridley at Totino-Grace High School. At halftime, the number 2 ranked Wayzata Trojans on the road lead Totino-Grace 21-10. They got up 21-7. They were up 14-0 as well, but Totino-Grace battled back in the second quarter. As we look at first half highlights, and it started with Julian Dietrich muscling his way in for the touchdown. One of 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half for Wayzata. Dietrich carrying on from his great performance last week. And then a nice little pitch and catch to Drew Berkland from 13 yards out for 6. As the little slant worked, Berkland 6 catches for 75 yards in that first half. But Totino-Grace would respond. Michael Loger, the quarterback, sneaking around right end for the touchdown to cut the lead in half, 14-7. And then nearly tied it up. Loger rolling, diving attempt made, but unable to hang on was R.J. Spencer. Loger would tack on a 32-yard field goal, however. And then towards the end of the half, a sack would end the half. A nice sack by Arya Chandrasekhar from his defensive line position, one of 2 sacks in the first half for the Eagles. As we look at halftime statistics, neither team had a turnover. Wayzata 270 total yards, very balanced, passing and rushing. And Totino-Grace mostly rushing thanks to Hunter Carlson, who had 11 carries for 109 yards in that first half. And penalties not really a factor either. A fairly cleanly played game. but both teams just marching down. Totino-Grace, I believe, punted it twice. Wayzata did not punt in that first half. Eagles will get the football to start the second half, so should be a very important drive to open the third quarter. And just a beautiful night for football fans in the stands here at Totino-Grace High School. It's a great sight to see as you see the Wayzata faithful coming out student section in bright colors tonight here in Fridley. We'll be back with second half action shortly here. 21-10, our halftime score.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. I love you. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. Every day he's hungry for something. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then it kind of starts to work itself out.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot me on this last one. There it is.
Keep going with it. Leo! They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Hey, Dad, I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Ryan Iverson is down on the field with Wayzata coach Lambert Brown.
Hey, Coach, 21-10 there in the first half. What did you like in the first half?
I thought we moved the ball well. I thought our kids came to play, right? And so we started fast. I think we're doing some things really well, and, guys are playing with some confidence.
What do you want to see different in the second half?
We just got to respond. I think it's a good football team, and, we know that's going to be a good game. And I would like to see us find a way to finish, right? We got to find a way to finish, and right now that's kind of what we talked about our kids is come out, respond in the second half. All I care about is winning the second half, and good things will happen. So
you got to love the crowd here. The Wayzata crowd traveled well tonight.
They came in and supported. We're lucky. We got a lot of great fans here tonight.
Awesome. Good luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Bill.
And we thank both coaches for joining us. Lambert Brown there giving you his thoughts on his Trojans, who came in heavily favored to this game and started out fast, got out to a 14-0 lead. Totino-Grace did respond, and Wayzata will be on defense to open the second half. As you see, Michael Loger kicked a field goal and also ran it in from 3 yards out in the first half. This kind of splits time with Nick Ruhonen, but Loger picked up did some damage on the ground, had 3 carries for 32 yards. Part of the Eagles' 141 yards of rushing in the first half. So one of the few negatives really for Wayzata as they allowed Hunter Carlson to go over the century mark as well. But otherwise, pretty workmanlike from Wayzata in that first half of action. Very balanced through the air. 13 passes, 14 rushes, or 16 rushes, I should say. So you don't often see that. Usually high school teams these days are either running teams or spread and throwing teams. But certainly Wayzata tries to be balanced. They come in ranked 3rd in the AP 6A polls we showed you earlier, and 2nd in the metro area. Lakeville South, the unanimous #1 in both the AP poll and the Star Tribune metro area poll. So, but Wayzata hoping to represent the Gold District. How was it down on the field, Ryan?
It was good. Good energy. Great crowd down there.
Yes.
Wayzata crowd was loud. It was good. It is getting chilly down there. I can report that.
Yeah, especially without a jacket on. Well, it's only going to get cooler as we head into October. Hard to believe the season's going to be, regular season's going to be halfway over after this game.
Well, to me, this is that perfect football weather.
I agree.
It's kind of that, 40s, 50s, 60s. When it's 80s, it's almost too hot. You see a lot of cramping. And then, of course, we get a lot of the, when it gets down to 10 and 15 and it's miserable out there.
Yeah, well, Wayzata should be able to handle either one because they've got the horses on the ground to play that cold weather ball. And, oh, man, can you imagine trying to tackle Dante Cockrell in the cold?
235 coming at you full speed. No, thank you.
6'1", 235. Came into the game 40 carries, 149 yards, and a touchdown. Julian Dietrich came in with 64 rushes, 401 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He had 10 carries for 77 and a touchdown in the first half, so...
Yeah, real interesting first half. I thought,
a lot happened.
Well, we were headed to kind of maybe that Wayzata blowout a little bit. And I thought, Totino-Grace did a great job of responding and putting points up on the board and, something to build off. They're going to get the ball here, and they have a chance if they can convert here on this drive. They have a chance to really make this a ball game.
Hunter Carlson, for the first time tonight, not back there, not that deep to receive this opening kickoff.
He looked like he was shaken up a little bit on that long run he had.
Well, we'll see. He could have just changed those pink gloves. No, there he is, and he's trotting on the field. So they just took him off kickoff. They returned it out past the 28 to the 21, and that's where the Eagles will start this second half, 1st and 10.
Well, let's just see if they can sustain that nice rhythm they had those last couple of drives offensively, mixing it up. You go back to that missed touchdown in the back of the end zone. What a great throw that was, and would have been a great catch.
A great effort by Spencer, but a tough catch. It would have been spectacular if he had made it. Carlson to the left of Michael Loger, who claps his hands, gives to Carlson. He bounces it, dragging Wayzata defenders, and comes in and is planted, but he absolutely took Fox Knutson for a ride before it was cleaned up by Keandre Watkins, the junior defensive lineman.
Well, we've seen Totino-Grace do this defensively that time. Watch number 47, Fox Knutson. You see him right there. He's not able to bring him down, but he holds on and slows him down, and then you have this great team tackle. And with great backs, sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4 guys to bring him down.
Loger keeps it himself, gets maybe a yard out to the 25. So that'll bring up a very important 3rd and 5 from the 25. Beg your pardon, 3rd and 6. They need to reach the 31.
Yeah, that's a play they had success, especially with Loger keeping it and cutting back. And that time before he could cut back was wrapped up nicely.
Yeah, they kept Wayzata's defense guessing a little bit in that first half. Carlson on the give, and he's swarmed under by, among others, Tim Hess, the big senior defensive lineman. A loss of 1 brings up 4th down.
Yeah, we've called his name a couple times tonight. He's gotten good push into the backfield, and that looked like one of Totino-Grace's first couple of drives of the game there, right? Didn't mix it up a little much. I think they got to mix in the pass enough to soften up that front 7. And when they were mixing it up, having good balance, that's when they found success.
Chandra Shecker, he sacks quarterbacks and he punts. And he's standing back at his own 10-yard line. Diedrich and Birkeland back deep to receive. This will be Birkeland catching it at his own 38. Back across midfield, picking his way down to the 48-yard line. So again, good starting field position for the Trojans.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times here tonight, Bill, where they've had just a short field to work with. And see if Totino-Grace's defense can hold here.
An all-important drive as Totino-Grace, especially because they're getting the majority of their yards, just 21 yards through the air in the first half. Majority of their yards coming on the ground. Not the kind of offense that can come back easily.
They got to keep this to a 1-2 score game for sure.
Trips to the right, pistol formation as Harvey takes the snap, Gives to Diedrich, big hole, he breaks tackles again into the second level. Finally dragged down at the 30, but not before he picks up 18.
Well, man, did he explode through that hole.
Didn't he?
Again, really nice blocked up front. You can see big fella number 62, Joe Blom. And what these offensive linemen do a really nice job of, Bill, is they hold their blocks. And they don't need a long time to get that young man to that second level. He's just explosive.
Ball's on the 30, first down. And again, Diedrich with the carry, and again up the middle. Near first down yardage down at the 21. A gain of 9, and the yardage just coming in chunks now as Diedrich goes over 100 yards, 12 carries for 104 yards.
Well, and it's not a good sign when you see, look at all the white jerseys down the field. Look at guys holding their blocks. You see big 65, Brett Kelsenberg holding his block. 55, Connor Kraft, 3-4 yards downfield, still engaged in their block. That's when you know the offensive line is doing their job.
Back to pass over the middle, and flag's going to come out for that one as Sauer got tangled up with Birkland.
Yeah, that was close. It looked like he might have had a hand on his back or on his shoulder pads there just before the ball got there.
Just one penalty for 5 yards on Totino-Grace in the first half, but Sauer looks like he's going to be whistled for the infraction here, and that'll spot it down towards the goal line. Pass interference on Sauer. It's a half the distance to the goal infraction. As we see it right here, over the middle, Birkland had a step, and it's just that left hand.
Kind of twisted him sideways just before the ball got there.
Yep, you see it right there. Give to Diedrich, he bounces it outside, slips a tackle, Diedrich to the end zone for the touchdown.
That's what Wayzata does. Good team football, right? Your defense holds them 3 and out. You get a short field. Great rhythm offensively. And I'll tell you what, Colin Finley, number 10, had a shot at Alfaro Diedrich in the backfield, and that's where you got to make that tackle. Instead, he breaks it. He's got the great speed to get to the outside.
Julian Alfaro Diedrich from 10 yards out increases the Wayzata lead to 27-10. The extra point is good from Grundy, his 4th of the night. It's 28-10 in favor of the second-ranked team in state. The student section's loving it. As you see Alfaro Diedrich, again, slip that tackle. He's so quick, and he just got to the corner, and that was it.
Yeah, and he's slippery, too. We've seen the power, we've seen the speed. That time he's elusive. Just by turning his body, able to get out of the hands of Colin Finley. And I'll tell you what, if you got a shot at a running back like that, even if you can't make the tackle, you got to hold on. Instead, he's able to beat that guy to the end and off to the races. Touchdown. Great start to the second half here for Wayzata.
It's that low center of gravity, isn't it?
And sometimes shorter running backs, they are harder to tackle. Especially, Colin Finley's 6'3", right? So he's going to be up, significantly higher. But you're right. It's one of the reasons I think Barry Sanders was so good. He was short, powerful, but it's harder to tackle sometimes a smaller running back.
Let's give credit to right tackle Connor Kraft, Joe Blom, the left tackle, right guard Brett Kelsenberg, who's going to North Dakota, Blake Bergman, the center, and the left guard Jackson Nelson, who's a power lifter. And certainly that offensive line demonstrated quite a bit of power on that drive. From the 5-yard line, big hit. The kick returner drilled at the 15-yard line. And so again, Totino-Grace with some less than ideal starting field position.
Yeah, Sam Johnson ran into a white wall that time. That was what's the collision here? I mean, just nowhere to go. Look at, you get about 3 or 4 white jerseys. And it's you talked to Lambert Brown, you heard in my interview, he said, hey, we got to finish. We got to finish drives. They did that. Finish games, right? You're up 21-10. Don't be satisfied. And so far, they've defensively, offensively, and now special teams have really come to play here in the second half.
So the ball's at the 16-yard line of the Eagles to start this drive. They're going 3 and out on the first one. Carlson stacked up, nowhere to go. No gain for Hunter Carlson. As certainly Carlson finding the yardage tougher to come by. The last 4 carries, he's gained 2 yards net total.
Yeah, and I liked what they did in the first half where they got him outside a little bit, whether it's that option or some type of sweep. I just think he's so good in space. And right now you can see Wayzata really focusing on the line of scrimmage in between the tackles, not giving him any type of daylight.
Loger, a little quick pass outside, and breaking away, spinning away from pressure, Spencer, R.J. Spencer, across the 30, picks up first down yardage out to the 31, a gain of 15. Slippery from R.J. Spencer, the team's leading receiver.
Yep, and a nice easy throw, and again, a missed tackle there, but R.J. Spencer, he's made big plays this year as a wide receiver, and that was nice. Again, now you're mixing it up a little bit. I think they have to pass a little bit, and now you'll follow that up with some Hunter Carlson, maybe getting some more openings.
Drew Streeter on the tackle. Yeah, Spencer, they've thrown 4 touchdown passes this year, and Spencer has all 4 of them. Back to the ground with Carlson, and again, no gain. Tough sledding for Hunter Carlson in between the tackles.
Yeah, there's just nowhere to go. You're seeing great pursuit by the front 4 of Wayzata, and you're also seeing linebackers. They're coming up to about a yard off the line of scrimmage, almost daring Totino-Grace to do something different other than run between the tackles.
Ball's at the 31-yard line on first down, or second down to make it. Loger pitches outside to Carlson. Again, a good catch. Carlson making something out of nothing across the 35. Pick up a 5, but just great athleticism to catch that low pitch.
Well, that's the second time we've seen that, which I think a lot of running backs, that ball would be on the ground. And this one's hard because you're running full speed and you got to go down, so you lose all your momentum. And he's able to just start and stop and start again and get positive yards.
On the stop, Dominic Heim, who's got 2 fumble recoveries this year, and Drew Streeter, we've called his name quite a bit tonight.
Well, that's the thing about Wayzata. They got physicality up front, but they also have really good speed at the defensive backs and the outside linebackers.
Very athletic defense. Good pitch and catch to pick up first down yardage across the 40, out to the 43. A gain of 6. First catch made tonight by Logan Suggs.
He came into the game with 6 catches, and that was a big one, 3rd and 6, and he gets just enough for that first down. And he paid the price, too. That was a good hit, but he held on to the football.
So that was a pitch and catch of 6 yards. So now Loger 5 of 6 for 42 yards. So he's accurate, if not gaining much through the air. Loger, play fake to Carlson, rolling near side, chased by Knutson. And he somehow squeezes it in. Nice grab made by, I believe, Adam Molitor. Right at midfield, just shy of midfield. Pickup of 6.5, but look at, it was well defended too. Yeah. Somehow squeezed it in there.
It looked like the ball got tipped as well. Chase Olam got his hands on that, might have tipped it, but great concentration by Molitor and a good pickup on first down.
So ball's on the 49, Eagles threatening to get into Wayzata territory. Carlson, and in fact, Loger keeps it himself. A little bit of a miscommunication, I think. But Loger wisely slides down, short of the 55, but enough to move the chains.
Yeah, I think Carlson was expecting to get that ball. He stopped and almost looked at his quarterback.
Had me fooled.
Yeah.
I thought they maybe fumbled, but Loger instead tries to, just keeps it himself and ends up picking up 5, or 6. Rather, down to the 45.
And now this is starting to look like those successful drives that they had in the first half, where you're mixing it up with some throwing the football, some quarterback keepers, Carlson for a couple, so a nice little rhythm here on offense.
Loger flushed, escapes pressure somehow, directing traffic, and he's planted at midfield.
Yeah, Olam came there and finally put the hit on, but a great job by Loger just to extend that play. I think he was telling his wide receiver to go down the field. He does a great job. Watch his head here. His eyes are always down the field. Right there, trying to tell his wide receiver, if you go deep, I might get you. But time just ran out.
Olam with 3 tackles for loss this season, 51 tackles, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery. He's the leader from his middle linebacker position, just a junior. That sack forces them back to the Trojan 48.
Not overly big, too. Under 200 pounds, but great speed. He's just a very good athlete. Plays sideline to sideline.
Meanwhile, we've got a whistle and a stoppage in play. False start on Totino-Grace, so bad time for that penalty. Third penalty of the game on the Eagles. That marches them back into their own territory, 47-yard line, spot of the ball.
Yeah, it's been a pretty clean game on both sides here, but that's a big one because you're already in second and long. Now you're in second and really long. It kind of halts the momentum that you've had here a little bit.
Yep, and you can see that movement right there. They blew the play dead, so Totino-Grace, what had been a promising drive, now 2nd and 18. Three-step drop, Loger flushed, steps up in the pocket, he's going to be sacked again. Sacked on the play by Ulam, who's having quite a drive. Chase Ulam flashing that money signal, rubbing those fingers together, his second sack of the drive.
Well, Totino's had success with short passes tonight, and you can see when Loger's dropping back, trying to let maybe a bigger play develop, he just does not have the time. As Wayzata's front four are playing great, and they're also bringing pressure, and Ulam does a nice job, again, finishing it off. You said 3 tackles for loss. He's got that maybe on this drive alone. He's been in that backfield quite a bit. Back-to-back sacks.
I trust those stats. 3rd and 23 coming up. Loger just gives it to Carlson, who'll try to get what he can. He gets it back near midfield as he picks up 7 down to the 49. 17th carry of the game for Hunter Carlson, and at this point, it's probably go for it territory. 4th and 16 rather.
And that's where that penalty was so big, right? Because it was 2nd and 11, still pretty manageable, and then you get that false start, and all you try to develop maybe a longer pass play, you get sacked again, so you compound kind of a couple of mistakes back to back.
You've got to reach the Wayzata 35. Loger tipped at the line of scrimmage, catch is made, but forced out of bounds. On the near side, Brennan Blake, his first catch, he's knocked out of bounds, shy of the line to gain. It's a turnover on downs, and the ball goes back to Wayzata.
Yeah, nice throw, and I think you got to be pretty impressed with Michael Loger. I certainly have been tonight. He's been accurate, he's fought hard, he's tried to extend plays.
Bothered at the line by Keandre Watkins, but still managed to complete it just short of the line. And now, this could be where Wayzata puts it away. Up 28-10, Dante Cockrell Jr. will start the drive in the backfield. Trips to the right of Harvey, who's in the pistol. Play fake. Over the middle, caught by Birkeland. Birkeland trying to fight off the tackle of Sauer, but it's a pickup of 24 down to the 38-yard line.
Well, see, what Wayzata does such a great job is they go trips to the right, but they get Drew Birkeland in one-on-one, and he's got such great quickness. All he has to do is get a step on Michael Sauer, who's played a really good game tonight. He's been right in good position, but that's just a hard ass in a one-on-one situation.
Cockrell Jr. cuts back inside, stumbling his way down near first down yardage. He'll be just shy. They'll mark him down at the 30-yard line, so a gain of 8 on first down.
Yeah, when you can win like that on first down, now you open up everything in your playbook, running, passing. When you can get 8 yards, 7-8 yards on first down, that's a certain win.
It's really been that Birkeland slant.
Yep.
Drew Birkeland on the slant. Hasn't been anything fancier than that.
Nope.
2nd and 2 from the 30. And we've got a whistle, and I believe a timeout.
No, I think Eli Lenore moved there. Number 3.
And right you are. 3 penalties, 45 yards on the game for Wayzata. March it back to the 35.
Hey, you can see it just wasn't quite set. Look at the top of your screen. You got a guy going in motion. There's the movement.
Clear as day, right in front of the ref. So that's an easy call.
Well, you talked about the Drew Birkeland slant, and you remember the first drive they were throwing those quick hitches to him with the wide receiver blocking for him, and I thought Totino-Grace did a nice job of adjusting to that, and then Wayzata has adjusted their route, and they found this slant to really be successful here tonight.
Cockrell between the tackles. He's dragged down by the foot by Amari Yaramahio, the senior linebacker. But Cockrell still manages to get back a couple of those yards, back to the 30, down to the 33, as we have just 25 seconds left in this third quarter. Pistol formation from the 33 on 3rd and 5. Play fake, rolling. Harvey's going to try to get the first down himself. He will, and more. He goes out of bounds ahead of a hard-charging Sam Johnson. Steps out of bounds at the 22-yard line. And so a nice little scamper to pick up first down yardage.
Yeah, smart play design too. That time you play action, everyone collapses, wide receivers running the defensive back out of there, and I thought Harvey knew right away he was going to keep that ball, knew right where that first down was. And the other smart thing is he got out of bounds. He didn't take an unnecessary hit there. Got the first down, got out of bounds.
This time it's back to Diedrich, and he's slowed up, and a nice play. First time, and now we've got some extracurriculars. A flag comes flying in. Colin Finley, the one who came in and made that tackle on Diedrich. And meanwhile, we've got a couple players tangled up. Will this be offsetting personal fouls? Now it stops the clock with 1.4 seconds left in the third, as Nick Pittman tangled with an offensive lineman for Wayzata.
Well, before we get to
looks like
the penalty,
Wayzata is going to be, well, because if it was offsetting, late hit the call on Joe Blum, the left tackle. The senior exerting a little frustration and takes it back to the 37, and you see Blum out there with Pittman. And he just kind of finished his block. I don't know, to me that's a nothing, but they blew the whistle. And so Wayzata finds itself a little bit behind the chains, but leading after 3 quarters of play, 28-10. Trojans keep the ball. They look to add to their lead when we come back here on CCS. Start of the fourth quarter here at Jim Totino Field at Totino-Grace High School in Fridley. Bill Hupp alongside Ryan Iverson. The second-ranked Trojans marching, but they've been hampered a little bit by penalties. And we were talking during the break, Ryan, about one guy who might not be too mad about that last offensive line penalty.
Yeah, as an offensive line coach, you love to see your guys holding blocks. And, you know, Joe Blum, number 62, who got called for that, looked like he was just finishing his block all the way to the whistle. And I think his O-line coach will certainly praise him for that effort.
From the 37, looking for Birkland, and he hauls it in. A great catch by Drew Birkland down to the 8-yard line. Pitch and catch of 29 yards.
What great concentration. That's where, as a defensive back, you got to get your head turned around because that ball is coming. But watch Birkland just at the last second here come back to the ball. And even with Sauer's arm in there, able to hang on to that. That's just great concentration. And how about a quarterback just trusting your receiver to go make the play?
Yeah, no question about it. Diedrich on the carry, and he is dragged down, tackled out there by Yaramio. So not a real big gainer. In fact, a no gain officially, spotted at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, that was a touchdown-saving tackle. If Alfaro Diedrich breaks that one, he is in the end zone.
With that throw, Ryan Harvey now over 200 yards of passing on the night. High snap, and he is buried. Diedrich takes the carry, and he is absolutely snowed under by Yaramillo and Nick Pittman, among others.
I'll tell you what, yeah, watch Pittman, number 21 as well. They timed their blitz just perfectly and just nowhere to go for Alfaro Diedrich.
They shot the gaps there, didn't they?
That was a great play call, and I'll tell you, when you're blitzing, a lot of it's just timing, and they timed it perfectly.
Third down from the 11-yard line. Again, a little bit of a miscommunication. Flag comes flying. Harvey breaks a tackle, and he's tripped up from behind by Pittman as he tries to get to the goal line. He's tripped up at the 5-yard line, but we'll see what this flag is for.
Well, you see Alfaro Diedrich was moving there when that ball was snapped, did not get reset.
And Diedrich and Harvey were not on the same page. Looked like he wanted to hand it off to Diedrich. So Wayzata, again, uncharacteristically sloppy with the penalties here. So a 5-yard penalty there.
Interesting, it would have been 4th down at about the 3 or 4. He instead chose to take the penalty here. So, yeah, you could see resetting and Harvey not
and Harvey thought he was going to be to his left, and he was in fact to his right. So that moves it back to the 16-yard line. Remains 3rd down. So still 3rd and goal, but from the 16 this time. Certainly Wayzata comfortable in this position with big plays.
Well, and for the passing game, it actually gives you a little bit more room, a little bit more space. So maybe not the worst kind of penalty here.
Harvey, play fake, slant to Berkland, and he's tackled. He catches it, but he's tackled immediately by Johnson, and actually that's Lenort, who is tackled shy of the goal line at the 5. So a little pitch and catch of 11 yards.
Interesting call here. What do you do?
Yeah, do you go for...
He missed the field goal at the one attempt, but the extra points have been absolutely boomed.
Yep.
But they're going to keep their offense on here, and they're going to go for the score.
On 4th down from the 5-yard line. And now we've got a timeout. And I assume that's a Wayzata timeout. Indeed it is. We'll keep it here. 9:17 to go in the game. Wayzata up 28-10, and once again on the doorstep. How about the numbers for Ryan Harvey tonight through the air? 12 of 16, 218 yards and a touchdown.
Well, the things that stand out again are that great accuracy that we talked about, 12 for 16. But not only that, 12 completions over 200 yards. So that tells me they're not dinking and dunking. They're taking shots, chunk plays down the field. And you mix that up with a really effective running game too, and you just have a really balanced attack, hard to defend.
Yeah, and Ryan, if you're Wayzata, what's the philosophy here in terms of going for it or deciding to kick the field goal?
Well, I think you're at this point. I think what it comes down to is Coach Brown trusts his offense. He says, "Hey, we can get 5 yards here. You know, we have a variety of plays." I think that's why he wanted to call a timeout, make sure they got in the right formation. And again, keep in mind, you know, Drew Berkland, as we've seen that slant across the field. And you see number 15 to your right there. And on your left, too, you got number 3, Eli Lenort. A lot of green turf over there.
Play fake, rolling out, hit as he throws, but it's a tight end screen, and he's got it for the touchdown. Just gets across. Not the play design you expect, but Jack Simon, the 6'3 sophomore, catches it, and good job by Harvey to get rid of it as soon as he was hit. And Wayzata adds to its lead.
Yeah, that's a great play design, and it's something we haven't seen yet tonight, right? You've seen a lot of quick throws to the wide receivers. We haven't seen them utilize their tight ends at all, but a great play fake to the right, comes back to the left, And I'll tell you, as a quarterback, that's not easy when you got someone right in your face. But his height allowed him to get that throw off in a beautiful time play.
I believe it was R.J. Spencer that was bearing down on him from that right defensive end position, but he just got it off. It was a bootleg kind of play where everybody else was flowing to the right, and he had the tight end open to the left. And pretty nice when you can have a rarely used 6'3" tight end at your disposal.
Well, again, it's another weapon, right? Do you stop the run? Do you stop the wide receivers who have made unbelievable plays all night long, and you forget about a tight end, Jack Simon, who's a very capable tight end, 6'3", 210 pounds, only a sophomore too. And that's where being 6'4" really helped Ryan Harvey out.
Yeah, 6'4" to 6'3", no question about it. So Rundy's on to attempt his 5th extra point of the night. And yeah, just 1 for 5 for field goals this year for him, but he's made all 5 of his extra points easily.
Yeah, not only have he made them, but they look like they'd be good from about 40, right? And so, love the play design here. I like the timeout. We just hadn't seen that little play action to the left. And you're so focused on the 3 or 4 guys that have made the majority of the plays tonight that you just forget to guard the tight end.
And he just got it across. Yeah. And I spoke too soon, by the way, Ryan. He missed that extra point.
Oh, he did.
My Paul Allen moment here. Missed the extra. Good. He missed the extra point.
How about
As
that?
we talk about how good he is at extra points, and just looking at his numbers, that's his 2nd extra point he's missed this year. He's now 12 for 14 on extra points. So 34-10, the number 2 team in state in complete command with 9:10 to go. But yeah, he barely got across that line, but that's all you need is just right across.
It didn't look like he was going to waltz into the end zone.
Yeah.
Like he had a lot of turf in front of him. So nice job by Totino-Grace to close the gap. Great effort, but I just love that play call.
Yeah, a great play call out of the timeout. Obviously, it caught Totino-Grace by surprise. That was a player that hadn't affected the game at all, and that was a play they hadn't run before either. So showing a lot of offensive versatility tonight for sure. As Johnson skips through a couple tacklers, and he is taken down at the 25. So Totino-Grace goes back to work on offense, down by 24 with 9:01 to play in the game.
You know, for Totino-Grace, you're 0-3 on the year. You're just looking for improvement. And I think tonight you've done a few things on offense that you can build on and be proud of. And I think they got to sustain another drive. You just want to put a couple of plays together, a couple of drives together, something that you can just continue to look at and say, guys, we can do this. We did this against the number 2 team in the state, so we can do it against anyone. And so right now you just want to continue the rhythm that offense has been in on a few of the possessions tonight.
Loger pump fakes, the little stop and go, and Spencer dropped it out there. Not sure how much Alex Hart, the defensive back, knew about it, but he didn't bite on the pump fake anyway, as you see it coming up here.
No, he didn't. And I mean, again, another really accurate throw, and R.J. Spencer, who's been their big play guy, that ball's right in his hands there. You got to make that catch, and he knew it as soon as that play was over.
So it brings up 2nd and 10. That stops the clock. One thing we can be sure of with Jay Anderson's Eagles, they're going to fight to the end.
Yep.
We saw that fight in the first half, and Carlson driven back by a host of defenders, but not before he picks up a couple out to the 27. He's nearing the 20 carry mark on the night.
For the most part, he had that 15-yard run early in the game, and then, of course, was it a 51-yard run that he had as well? You take those 2 big runs out, I think Wayzata's done a pretty good job of holding him in check.
56 yards. Yeah. He's had a couple big plays, but that's been about it. He catches it out of the backfield here, and he loses his balance and spikes the ball in frustration. Yeah. I'm not sure the players knew it was dead, so there's a little bit of grousing going on.
Well, and it looked like, too, they were just pursuing. They were not trying to hit him after the whistle.
Right, it certainly looked like that. In fact, he lost 2 yards back to the original line of scrimmage with that play.
Well, I love the idea. There, you're getting a quick throw out to Hunter Carlson in space. It looked like if he hadn't lost his balance, he had some room to run in front of him.
It says 4th down on the scoreboard. Yeah, 4th and 10. They expect a quick punt, and indeed it is a quick kick and a good one.
Yeah.
As that one bounds, takes a Eagles roll down to the 36-yard line of Wayzata, and the Trojans will take over, mark it officially at the 35. And now I'd expect a steady dose of ground game from the Trojans.
Yeah, this is where having Dante Cockrell Jr. as well, the big fella at 230 pounds.
He's only got 6 carries tonight.
Yeah,
he's fresh.
He's fresh, and you can start wearing him down, and that's having that thunder and lightning, that 1-2 punch of Alfaro Diedrich and Cockrell Jr. as well.
Sure enough, it is Dante Cockrell Jr. who's in the backfield. Pistol formation behind quarterback Ryan Harvey. Harvey came in 74%. And Cockrell drags defenders across the 40 out to the 42. So a gain of 7 on first down.
I'll tell you with Wayzata, it's like even on a play like that where you think, the defense won that one. You look and it's 7 yards on first down.
Yeah, they've really put themselves in position for second and manageable first downs.
And when you can do that consistently on most of your drives, that's where you can afford to take some of those shots down the field that they've been able to connect on tonight.
Cockrell cuts it back inside and gets across the 45 up to the 47. Pick up a 5 yards, move the chains once more.
Well, you mentioned it earlier too, Bill, but I feel like, being down on that field, we got to mention again how nice this new turf field is.
Beautiful.
And we've seen new turf at a lot of the fields in the metro area. We saw Champlin Park a couple weeks ago, with their new field. So there's a great camera shot of it too. It is soft and it's absolutely amazing.
And it looks great with the TG and the Eagle head in the middle. Beautiful.
Yeah, really nicely done by the Totino-Grace Athletic Facility.
Steady dose of Dante Cockrell Jr. as he gets inside of Eagles territory down to the 49. Another pickup of 4 yards on first down. 9 carries for 54 yards now for the senior.
And these are kind of tricky. Yeah, you see him coming out. A little tricky on offense.
Like a little gimpy coming off, but
you got a big lead. You don't want anyone to get hurt here. You want to run that clock down to play clock down to below 5 seconds every time you can.
Again, they give up the middle.
Different number 2.
Yeah, I'm confused about that because Dante Cockrell Jr. is number 2. There's no other number 2 listed on our program, so I can't even pretend I'm sure I know exactly who that is. But that was a pickup of 5. Sets up third and short.
Maybe that's Dante Cockrell's the third.
Or Diedrich wearing Dante's jersey. I'm not sure. But again, keeping both hands on the football. Inside the 40 down to the 39.
Jackson Nelson, number 78. Again, we've talked a lot about the great running backs of Wayzata, but that offensive line doing their job.
Yeah, we called them out by name earlier tonight. Only one of them committed to play in college right now, North Dakota. Get the services of Brent Kelsenberg, 6'5", 285.
Yeah,
it's a big boy. There's good size on this physical offensive line. High snap, again the give. And this time stopped up after no gain. Clock continues to roll. Trojans lead at 34-10 with 4:30 and counting remaining in the game.
Well, you know what? This Totino-Grace team, I think, did a number of positive things tonight as well. I know the score doesn't reflect that necessarily, but their offense really picked it up. I thought their quarterback, Michael Loger, had a nice game. And even defensively, Michael Sauer, number 2, I know he's had a lot of Drew Berkland tonight, but he's been in the right position, been a great tackler.
Oh, Pittman was everywhere.
Yeah.
They had some defensive standouts for sure. This is Dion Lovelace getting the call on second down, and he picks up 3 with his first carry. We do have him in the program, so.
Yeah, this is always a great time to get some of those kids that don't get a ton of playing time, get them a chance to touch the ball. And what it does is it gets them experience, because you never know with injuries or even next year, guys that are graduating, some of these guys are going to be the studs the following year. So it's a great opportunity to give them some experience.
On third down from the 36, play fake. Harvey will just follow Lovelace, and in fact, he will be tackled and sacked. Third sack of the game. This one recorded by Mason Molitor, older brother of Adam Molitor. Mason 6'6" as well, 220.
Yeah, it's a good-sized family.
Yeah, a couple 6'6" kids. Fourth down, and they'll just pooch punt it or go for it here from the Eagles' 40-yard line. Just 2:44 and counting left to go. And maybe they were going to hard count it. Timeout taken by Lambert Brown. So, Ryan, let me ask you, what do you think the potential is for this Wayzata team? How deep can they go in the playoffs this year?
I think they're a state championship caliber team. And the reason I say that, number one, is pedigree. They've been there and they've done that before. So they got the coaching staff that knows what it takes. And two, they have the formula. They can pound the football, so you can control clock. And two, you got the receivers and the athleticism on the outside, and a quarterback who's playing with a ton of confidence, who takes care of the football as well. Not only is he accurate and can take chances down the field, but he's a smart quarterback. And I look at Maple Grove and Wayzata. I've seen Lakeville South this year. I think Maple Grove, Wayzata are two teams that'll be there at the end of the year as well.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game to call coming up, as you see a pretty tight Metro Gold North standings. And when you've got a program as storied as Totino-Grace at the bottom of those standings, there's just no bad teams on that list.
No. Well, and tonight, I haven't checked lately, but Centennial was up 14-7 over Maple Grove.
Yeah, Centennial's no slouch, and they fell to Stillwater early in the year, 7-0, but Stillwater's a team that's also ranked in the top 10 in the Metro. So first punt of the game coming up for Wayzata, as they tried to hard count, but ultimately they will punt it away with Theo Smith from the 50-yard line. And he'll bury this inside the 20 at the 15 with just 2:26 left to go. And so might we see a few backups for Totino-Grace at this point too. Job done for Ryan Harvey tonight. Player of the game here. Rushing the ball, touchdown rushing. Touchdown throwing. Yeah, the offensive line. It's giving the offensive line some props as well.
Well, you love that. I love when position players acknowledge their offensive line. They know who creates the time and the holes for them to be able to pass and score all the touchdowns.
Yeah, and you know, Harvey had plenty of time to throw. He was sacked a few times tonight, but he did have plenty of time to throw. And those quick slants, you know, just get the ball in the hands of your playmakers and let them go to work.
It's smart football, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I always think. And there's that offensive line. They should be proud. They got a lot of smiles on their faces. They had a great game tonight. But that's what I love about, you know, good coaches. Just figure out ways to get your best players the chance to be successful. And that's what Wayzata's done, whether it's Ryan Harvey throwing to Drew Berkland or Eli Lenort or Alfaro Diedrich running the football. They just, oh, good hit.
That was a textbook tackle out there. What a stick. Good tackle made by Streeter. Drew Streeter has racked up the tackles tonight, and he flew in from that middle linebacker position.
Yeah, when he's making tackles too, you're feeling it. You can. I mean, they're good, solid tackles.
He's laying the lumber.
Yeah.
He's laying the lumber for sure. Loger throws to Spencer, who makes the catch and then fumbles. And we have our first turnover of the night. Wayzata thinks they have it, and they're going to say incomplete pass.
I was going to say, the question is, did he have possession of it first?
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Wayzata pretty thorough in their win tonight as we take a look at this last play. Just a quick slant, caught it, brought it in, and that's close. That's close.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter now, obviously, but if that was in the first quarter, there might be some argument coming from the Wayzata sideline, but that was certainly close.
Yeah, interesting. Wayzata scored early in the first, early in the third, and early in the fourth. The 9-minute mark in all 3 quarters, and they scored touchdowns in all 4 quarters in what was a pretty dominant finish, start to finish. And how about Loger stiff-arming a Wayzata defender as he put number 27, Andrew Nelson, to the turf. I didn't know he had that stiff arm in him.
That was great. You said it. Totino-Grace not going to quit. And Loger, watch him finish this run. Most time you see quarterbacks slide. That time, got his own stiff arm in. That was a nice finish to that run.
Inside of a minute left to play. Totino-Grace will fall to 0-4 on the season. Carlson bobbles it, nearly breaks free. He's finally dragged down across the 45.
Well, the third time tonight we've seen him just make an amazingly athletic catch on that option play. And then he's still able to turn it up the field and get some positive yards out of it.
He finishes with, he's got 19 carries. Maybe they'll get him one more to get him to 20. Ball's at the 46. Carlson instead plays blocker. Loger throws it out there, and it's caught. Racing away. Touchdown. A late touchdown for Totino-Grace and Sam Johnson. Or rather, Peter Scharr. Beg your pardon. Peter Scharr leapt and made that catch. And so how about that? A 54-yard touchdown catch for the senior wide receiver.
That's what you love to see. Teams playing to the last whistle. That ball hung in the air. I thought Scharr did a nice job of coming back, keeping his eye on that ball. Not only did he catch it, but then he immediately knew, get up the field and able to put it in the end zone. What a play.
Sorry, Loger tacks on the extra point with just 11.5 seconds left. As we watch this one again, Carlson makes a big block. And Loger, in fact, his arm looked like it was hit. But a great job by Scharr to come back to the ball. He raced away from Nelson. And ultimately, Streeter couldn't catch him. And Peter Scharr scores from 54 yards out.
And I love that. I love the excitement that old Totino-Grace team has. Doesn't matter what the final score is. You play to the end, and they're pumped up. That was a big-time play.
You always want to come out with silver linings, even from a loss. And
you know what? You end the game feeling good, right? You feel better. You didn't win the game, but you didn't quit. You got a big play all the way up to the end. That's fun.
Yep, I had basically marked this one down as a 34-10 win for Wayzata, but Totino-Grace tacks on a late score and makes it 34-17. Won't change the end result. Wayzata will still move to 4-0 on the season and maintain their number 2 ranking, but a little bit of pride for Totino-Grace playing on their home field.
Well, keep in mind, too, Wayzata came into this game 2 shutouts in 3 games, only giving up 4.5 points a game. So Totino-Grace got to be very proud of the 17 points they put up tonight.
No question. Ford Griffith falls on that one on the hands team, and Trojans will kneel it down one time and go home with the victory in front of their faithful. Credit to the Wayzata fans. Like we said, they really showed up and showed out tonight.
Yes, they did, and they stayed here till the end. And I like the bright colors, too. All the fan bases now going with
the theme nights.
The bright colors.
Yep. Wayzata 42-0 over Roseville, 35-0 at Champlain Park, 34-14 last week, and 34-17 here tonight. A road victory for the Trojans against Totino-Grace in Fridley. Hard-fought win for the Trojans. They did it on the ground as Alfaro Diedrich had 14 carries for 115 yards and a couple touchdowns, and they did it through the air. Ryan Harvey, 13 of 17, 223 yards and a couple scores as well. So that's the thing about Wayzata, right, Ryan? They can beat you in a number of different ways.
Yeah, we talked about it from the pregame all the way through the whole game here tonight. Great balance. They will run, and then they hit you with that play action and big plays in the passing game tonight. Fun game.
So that'll do it here tonight in Fridley. For our director, Roger Larson, and our entire crew, Ryan Iverson, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from Jim Totino Field in Fridley, where the number 2 ranked Wayzata Trojans come on the road and stay unbeaten with a 34-17 victory over Totino-Grace.